episode to watch if Hogan was going to be on because you knew something big was going to happen.
I personally, like, to me, the best stable, because there were so many great stables in the 80s, we all know that, but the best stable to me is the Four Horsemen. I love the Horsemen. The Horsemen were, oh my God, they were like gods to me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, you had Flair, and Flair was always a rich, you know, I'm going to, you know, scream to the top of my lungs, give myself a heart attack in every promo.
And you had Arn Anderson, the cold and calculated one.
Yeah, Arn Anderson was just, I'm going to beat you up.
Exactly.
I'm going to beat you up.
Tully Blanchard, the epitome of cool. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was definitely an amazing time. And you know what, to a certain extent, when you had the Attitude Era, you were kind of getting that back in a way. But
it
was
didn't have
just,
that same feeling.
Oh, exactly. It didn't have the same feeling. Which sucks because, you know, a lot of the music during the Attitude Era was being infused, just like it was in a rock and roll connection in the 80s.
Right.
And that, to me, that's the only thing about really the Attitude Era that I particularly cared for.
Right.
The house shows were epic in the 80s. Even when you went to a house show, it was fucking insane. Like you couldn't miss a show. You know, you felt like you were out of the loop when you missed a house show.
Oh, forget about it. But the cool thing was they did air things that happened and everything like that. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Buddy, thank you so much for calling in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Continue listening to us.
Oh, no doubt.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Wow, the phone lines are slamming. No pun intended.
In chronological order. 203, you're on the air with Nerd Herders. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
203, you there? 203? I think we lost him.
Try calling back. Okay, we have 856. You're on the air with Nerd Herders. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
New Jersey. 856? Yep.
Okay, what's up? You're on the air. What's up?
It's Howard.
Hi,
Howard. How you doing? Favorite wrestling moment? What's your 80s favorite moment, buddy?
I have to say 1983, even though I was only 5 years old, the first Starrcade, Ric Flair, Harley raced in the cage.
Yes. I believe we had another person tweet that, post that picture as well during the week. That was an epic moment. It was kind of like that one was very symbolic because it was like the passing of the guard.
Pretty much. Harley Race was kind of not retiring, but going out of.
He was getting ready to move on. Yeah, he was getting ready to move on to his WWF days.
Yeah, passing the torch to Flair and.
I mean, it was such an epic, huge moment because I remember like all the good guys coming in the ring, and including one of them was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, one of Flair's greatest enemies. Like it was that big of a moment.
Yeah.
Amazing. Howard, thanks so much for calling in and everything, and hopefully you've been enjoying the show.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Howard.
Bye-bye.
Okay. 201, you're on the air with Nerd Herders. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Oh, is this me?
This is you.
Oh, wow. You know, it's kind of funny. I'm usually the guy that's taking phone calls and not making them. It's Tony from the Wizards, guys. What's going on?
Hey, Tony! How you doing? Tony from Shining Wizards.
I am loving this, dude. I'm sitting here listening to all these great memories. This is unbelievable, man. Flair for the gold, and wow, unbelievable. You guys must be really enjoying this show tonight.
We're glad you are. And again, this is going to be, hopefully, if we're on a year from now, this will be an annual tradition.
Yep.
So
I hope
Tony,
so, man. And hey, first of all, congratulations on the 90 minutes, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
For everybody that doesn't know, this is our first 90-minute episode forever.
Yeah, forever. So long as we're on, as long as you keep listening, it'll be 90 minutes.
And the funny thing is, I keep hearing everybody bring up, it was like 1983, and I was like 3 years old, and I'm like, man, these guys are so young. Unbelievable. I feel like an old man calling the show. Anyway,
don't worry, I was born in 1976, so don't feel bad.
Dude, I'm still older than you, so yeah, I do feel bad.
Oh. All right. So, Tony,
anyway,
what's your 80s favorite moment?
Okay, I think the way that all the stories intertwined, especially in the mid to late 80s, played a big key role in this moment. And I think my favorite mark-out moment ever was probably Hogan and Orndorff in the cage on Main Event.
Oh,
you guys remember that with the
so
twin?
Good.
The twin. And you know what?
Replay with the feet hitting. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, and it tied together with so many stories. I mean, you had the Hogan and Piper feud that went on years before that led up to that. You had the Danny Davis evil referee thing going on, screwing the Bulldogs and screwing Tito Santana out of their titles.
Yep.
And just everything just magically came together in that moment. And you know, watching them both get their hands raised. Of course, I'm yelling at the TV like an idiot, going, "No way, Hogan won! His feet hit first." And
I was rooting for Orndorff.
oh, believe me, hindsight being 20/20, I was cheering for Orndorff like nuts. Even watching the tape of the big event where they fought up in Canada, and Heenan strapped the belt on Orndorff, and he was cheering, and the crowd was going nuts, dude. If only they gave Orndorff the title, I wonder how things might have turned out.
Oh God, I would have loved to see how it would have went if Orndorff got the title. Even if they ran it for a month or to a pay-per-view or to Mania, I would have loved to see where it would have gone with him as champion.
Yeah, and Orndorff, they drew money all around the place, but I think, up to that point, it was they had to have their blow-off on TV just so they can move the big man in and, lead up to WrestleMania 3 with Andre. Although, I do think Hogan-Orndorff main eventing WrestleMania 3 would have been just as big a sell, because Orndorff was just crazy over.
Absolutely. I mean again, WrestleMania 3, you had the big collision, and it was a passing of the torch, but I definitely think Orndorff and Hogan would have just been as huge as a main event.
Definitely.
But it just goes to show you as well how everything was just tying together. You had the leap with Piper. You brought in Mr. T. You had the boxing match at WrestleMania 2. You led from one Heenan family member in Orndorff to Andre the Giant. Like everything just made sense, and I think that's why we're so nostalgic about the 80s, because it's just missing today.
Exactly. And it was so simplistic. It didn't have to be intricate or anything like that. It was so simplistic. It was little things. The guys had great personas, and the stories were incredible. Like, you really got sucked and wrapped in. It was amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I don't want to tie you guys up. I know you guys got a ton of other people that are calling in, by the way the phones are blowing up.
Oddly enough, yes.
This is why we are 90 minutes involved.
Tony, before you get off the line, you got to do this for us, buddy. Plug your show.
Yep, we already did it.
Oh, definitely. You guys, we're the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast, of course. You can join me, Eddie, and Racist Matt at shiningwizards.com. I don't know. We usually put up on Thursday, sometimes Wednesday. Oh, and I'll just drop a few names. Next week on the show, we've got Primetime Sam Roberts from the Opie and Anthony Show and the Sam Roberts Show. And over the next few weeks, I think we're lining up Buff Bagwell. And I think coming up very soon, we're going to have Christopher Daniels on the show as well.
Oh, sweet. He's awesome. He's a fellow nerd, too, as well.
And Foxy Foxxy.
Yes, and Foxy, of course. And I promise you, we are going to get you in here before the next anniversary.
And guys, definitely listen to the archives on iTunes as well. They just last week they had Matt Hardy on. They had Christian York. They had Christian York. I mean, they have one of my buddies on, Mike Mondo from Ring of Honor. So guys, definitely give them a shout, give them a listen to.
Yeah, and I don't even know if you realized that Mike actually called us up on Wednesday too to wish us well. It was really cool of him.
That's awesome. Mike Mondo's an awesome dude. Tony, thanks so much for calling in, buddy.
Love you guys, man. Support everything you guys do. Nerd Herders forever, brother.
Thanks, brother. Take it easy.
Take care.
All right. We got another 201 caller.
Yes, we do.
All right.
201, we are sorry for having you on hold for so long. What's your name and where are you calling from?
You should be, because I should have a back door to this number. This is Tommy Fierro.
Wow, Tommy Fierro.
Yes.
And this is the first time I'm going to probably say this in about 2 years, but welcome to another action-packed body slamming episode of Who's Slamming Who? That's only for this segment right here. But I was listening for like the last 10 minutes, and I tell you what, I actually really enjoyed what I was listening to. And it's funny because what I was calling for is actually what the last person said, not 100%, but my favorite 80s moment, and I have enjoyed everyone else's comments prior to this one. I remember what I was at my aunt's house in West Milford, New Jersey. I was about maybe 6 or 7 years old, and when Paul Orndorff clotheslined Hulk Hogan in a tag team match with Big John Studd and King Kong Bundy, that was my all-time favorite moment of 80s right there.
I posted a still image of that earlier in the week, too, as my favorite moment in Hulkamania history was Orndorff clotheslining Hogan.
Oh, it was awesome. That was my favorite. That was my favorite 80s moment. And it's funny. I told her on her page when I saw that favorite 80s moment. That was the first thing that came up to my head, and I had to call in because that was one of the greatest angles of all time. And I agree with what he said too. With the steel cage match with the double finish was awesome. And it would have been awesome if it would have led to WrestleMania 3. But, I mean, you can't take away from Andre and Hogan. That was the greatest of all time.
Exactly. And I remember they tried to reprise that little angle / gimmick. I think it was a steel cage match was it Batista and Cena or something like that?
Something.
They tried to do it like a year or two ago, and it just didn't come off.
No.
It didn't come off. Not like that.
No, that was the greatest ever. How you guys done, all right?
We're awesome. We're awesome.
Hell.
We're crazily busy. For those that are listening in, for those that do not know Mr. Tommy Fierro is legitimately not blowing smoke because you're online, but Tommy Fierro is actually a New Jersey independent managing legend here in the area.
Promoting.
Yeah, he's done it all here in the New Jersey area in independent wrestling. I mean, and talk about, always keeps the old school, old style tradition that we're talking about right now in everything he has ever done. So,
and I could say I was hired by the WWE and I quit after 1 month.
Yeah,
I was part of the 24/7 the WWE Network thing, and I got hired to do that, and I lasted a whole big month doing that. It was really, really fascinating.
Awesome. Well, Tommy, thanks so much for calling in. Hopefully you'll continue to enjoy the show. Before you go, as I said, we know you're involved in the wrestling, but do you have anything to plug before you go?
Nothing to plug whatsoever. Have nothing to do with wrestling no more. If any fans are out there listening, keep listening to this show because it sounds like you guys are doing a great thing, and keep up the good work.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Tommy,
much.
thanks so much for calling in.
And remember, it doesn't matter how you slam. What matters is who's slamming who.
Exactly. Thanks for calling in, Thomas.
Bye, Tommy.
And 401. Oh, wait.
This one's been on longer. I'm going in chronological order.
Okay, Claudius 73.
Costa.
Oh, it's Costa.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Costa.
Hi there.
Totally butchering your screen name. I'm sorry, Costa.
No, don't worry. I can't give you my favorite, but I'll give you my first memory. I'll never forget. This is how it got started.
Okay.
I was watching TBS World Championship Wrestling. Ted DiBiase versus Wildfire Tommy Rich. Loser leaves town.
Yeah, I remember. Yep, you tweeted that to me today. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that got me hooked with wrestling. And then of course Tommy back as the masked Mr. R. They have the match. Mr. R and DiBiase have the match, but it's Brad Armstrong, and Brad Armstrong wins the national heavyweight title.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And that match is actually on YouTube. If you can find it, it's on YouTube. So
I mean, everything's on YouTube. You can find anything and everything.
So many good memories. 80s wrestling was. It was great. I mean, growing up watching wrestling. Now, you take it for granted nowadays. It's just not as good as it was back then.
No, it's not. It's just, again, it's not a knock on anything that happens today. And, me personally being involved in it, it's not a knock on anything that's on TV right now. But it's just, I don't know, something about it is really embedded in your whole being, in your soul. And it was just amazing. Like, like I said before, you remember moments now, but then you remember, like, the entire story. You remember a whole episode. You remember everything about it.
Right.
And it's just not the same.
Nope.
Nah, it's just, it's frustrating as a fan. I've been a fan for almost 30 years, and it's so frustrating.
Right.
They can't relive that magic that was.
I think partly because it was new in the 80s.